Thanks for listening to the Pop Culture Cosmos and the PCC Multiverse. Check out more great podcasts today on one of these awesome affiliate networks.
You're listening to a Weeby Geeks Network podcast.
You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
The Tangibound Network. Check it out. TangiboundNetwork.com. Listen to this show, the latest episode, every time.
A proud member of the Gonna Geek Network. The opinions expressed are those of each individual. Check out all the other geeky podcasts over at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready, because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
On this week's episode, the box office world has become frozen once again. Is the WWE thriving or surviving? And what are the best deals out there for gamers? All this and more as we once again delve into the pop culture cosmos.
Welcome to the Pop Culture Cosmos.
And we're back with another episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos. This is Gerald Glassford from Pop Culture Cosmos, Game Source, Humanican Media, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, and the Lakers Fast Break podcast. My gosh, that list gets longer every week.
I'm saying, I'm the one wearing a hat.
Exactly. But it is great to be here. Thanksgiving week. First off, let's hope everyone out there has a safe and happy Thanksgiving. But it wouldn't be a Pop Culture Cosmos without a good friend of mine, because Josh is hopefully having a safe and happy Thanksgiving. But he's out with doing family things with family people and all that kind of family stuff. But with me this week for both episodes of Pop Culture Cosmos and PCC Multiverse is my good friend. He's actually one of the original, the OGs, one of the beginning people in my life when it comes to podcasting, video game reporting, and all that good stuff. He is the man behind Game Source, because I don't know where Tony is half the time. But you got to check out what he's doing today at Game Source on Facebook, Game Source on YouTube, and everything that he's doing with his own Twitch and YouTube channels. It is my good friend. It is Mr. Jamie Monroy. Because we're only on mono Monroy right now. There's no stereo Monroy today.
No, I went back to mono. No more Dolby, no stereo. It's okay, though. It's okay. We'll just go back to... we're going to kick it old school. We'll say it that way.
If we kicked it old school, there'd be like 4 or 5 other, or maybe even 7 other people on the line, and there'd be so much feedback. I don't think we'd be able to do the show.
That's true. You'd be spending the majority of the time scolding a certain someone.
Yeah, that's true. That's it was good for comedy, but not good for my blood pressure.
Never.
No. But anyways, it's going to be a great episode we've got going on today. We're going to give you an update of what happened this weekend at the box office for Thanksgiving. Well, closing in on Thanksgiving weekend, I should say. But it was a great weekend for the box office indeed. Plus, also as well, we're going to be talking some Baby Yoda, because Mandalorian, I want to hear Jamie's thoughts of what he thinks so far of the Mandalorian. Survivor Series just ended. The Survivor Series weekend for WWE, they really something that they corner to each and every year. One of the 4 major events that they try to circle around. It is that Thanksgiving time tradition for them. But we're going to talk more about the actual product and also some of the results itself from Survivor Series. Are they in the mode of that they're actually thriving and just really growing as an entity, or are they surviving and trying to make do with what they have? We're going to weigh in with our opinions on the product as it is coming off of Survivor Series, coming up later in the broadcast as well. Plus, I'm going to ask Jamie. I know we had our Black Friday episode here on the PCC Multiverse, but I want to ask Jamie some of the deals that he's looking at. And I've added a couple that I want to go ahead and mention on the show as well, coming up later in the episode. And Rob McCallum is back with another off the cuff with his wife, Tanya Marie. They're going to be talking about more great pop culture subjects. But my friend, it was Disney's Frozen 2 at the box office, as if there was ever a doubt. It came out this weekend to a lot of interest. Like Josh and I were talking about, you turn a corner on a Walmart, you go right or left onto Target, you're running into one of the many displays of Frozen 2s like everywhere. it's going to earn probably around $125-130 million to the box office domestically here for the weekend. And that's not even counting the extra time that's going to happen this weekend with the Thanksgiving weekend coming up on it as well. Plus over $350 million worldwide. Got huge numbers in China and also Korea as well. So I ask you, my friend, the numbers are big. The numbers are rolling in over $350 million worldwide. This looks like it's another very big hit for them, and I see nothing but great success for this movie going forward.
Just like you said, the numbers don't lie. It's something that everyone should have expected. Frozen 2 Frozen, I meant to say, was phenomenal. Did phenomenal. Same thing then. When merchandise came out for Frozen, it was the big thing to do, to get. Elsa, Anna, Olaf, the main characters were the staples, and I'm with you on that. I see the same exact thing right now. You go into any major store right now, you're seeing Frozen clothes, Frozen toys, Frozen drinkware, Frozen to pretty much anything at this point. I'm sure they're getting ready to have Frozen 2 drinks. Point being is, yeah, it's definitely, I don't want to put it in the genre of a cash cow with other things that, they might just throw a name on and say it's the best thing they're doing. This actually is probably going to be one of the best films to come out this year. Obviously, in the animated category, in my opinion, it's going to knock it out of the park. It already is. Also with, I believe, Panic at the Disco is on the soundtrack this time around. I believe I just saw the video. Brendan Urie going in there with almost a feel for the Death of the Bachelor video, but getting clips from the blockbuster, I guess we should say. I can't say anything bad. I can't say fully anything amazing yet. I am going to see it probably by the time this is airing, but I can't wait to get the full experience. I do know of it. I just haven't gotten the whole experience myself.
I know I'm going to go ahead and check it out with my daughter as well. One of my daughters wants to see it and let it go, and the other one wants me to just let it go, Dad. Let it go. But it is going to be something that I think a lot of people are gearing up for, and I think it's going to have a long life at the box office. I see it as something that I think a lot of people during even the course of the Christmas break and Christmas holiday season will still try to go ahead and attend if they're not going to see Star Wars or Jumanji 2, because those are the other two big movies coming around in the next month and a half or so. So look forward to seeing those three movies skyrocket to the box office. Of the three, maybe Jumanji 2, no one knows exactly how well that one will do. But then again, Jumanji rode the back of The Last Jedi and eventually in January and February actually surpassed and became the number one movie for a while, on its way to over $900 million worldwide. So I'm interested to see where the original falls. But right now, Frozen 2 looks like it's going to surpass, at least on the surface, surpass what Frozen did originally. And Frozen earned over $1 billion at the box office. So I want to give first off props to Josh, because he actually said this would blow away expectations, and it looks like it has. I was expecting right around $100 million, and I would say Disney was probably going to be very disappointed if it didn't earn over $100 million domestically. Well, it did that in spades. It's almost over $400 million here worldwide in its first weekend. And by the time Thanksgiving hits, it might be close to $500 million. So that's just more chunk of change for Disney. And I know a lot of people out there are saying another Disney hit. Ho hum, another Disney hit. Well, you know what? It is another Disney hit, but right now they are making products that the people like to see. They are making products that people are going to see and making, I guess, time and spending money to go to the theaters for. Because one of the things that Josh and I talked about was that, with declining numbers in the theater chains that are out there and declining numbers overall year over year, that with the streaming market the way it is, people need to be enticed to go to the theaters for an event. Casual audiences need to be lured somehow into the theaters to go ahead and be able to see something special, because they're not just going for your average movies anymore. They're not just going for the movies that are, just going ahead and having popcorn. I mean, there's been so many failures cinematically this year at the box office that I think it's just a loud and clear message you have to make an event. And I think Frozen 2, with its marketing, with advance notice, with obviously the movie that we know before that's now available on Disney Plus has made every effort to make this a viable entity and something special for families to go to. So it looks like it's going to be doing big numbers. Like Josh called it, I'm going to give him prompts. He did it. He said it was going to be, he's usually a very tentative and very apprehensive to give those big kind of praise and numbers ahead of time because he's not the prognosticator like I try to be on occasion. But he did a great job in doing so. But I ask you, as we leave our conversation on Frozen 2, I want to ask you this. With Frozen 2 obviously earning big bucks, there's going to be every temptation to go ahead and make a Frozen 3. Do you think that audiences are going to be coming back once again for Frozen 3? Do you think these families will be taking their kid to a Frozen 3? Or do you think they should just have it stop at Frozen 2?
Okay, well, case in point, like you said, you're going to see it with your daughter. You have one on the fence, one not. One wants to let it go. One says, let's go. I've both saying, let's go. Now, mind you, one's 16, one going on 13, so one going on 17, one going on 13. Let's say it that way. And so I can't say, oh, there's an age group where it's just going to cut off. So that's where they're going to lose their, I don't think so. It's almost Frozen to me comes off now like some of the older Disney movies did, where they're starting to be timeless, but a little sooner. So it's not taking until it's you and I looking at like Disney Plus going, oh, wow, I really remember that movie. I remember how that made me feel. I remember doing this when I was watching this movie, or always doing that whenever I watched this movie, things like that. I'm with you. When we're going to the movies, it happens far and few between as compared to before. And with so many options, you have AMC now offering where you can just stream movies with an account for A-List and things like that and Premiere. Well, you're telling me through your app and your subscription that I don't have to go to your theater. So now you're making it even easier for me to avoid going to your theater, which I agree with and don't agree with. I agree with it because everybody wants that comfort. I can just stay home. I don't even have to get dressed. I can stay in my pajamas, sit on the couch, watch whatever I want. You also lose out on a lot of that experience, though, and you have to weigh it out. Sometimes a movie theater can be a good experience. Sometimes you just kind of cringe. Did I really just spend that much money on that movie? It's happened to a lot of people this year, as you were saying. But you lose out on so much of the experience. And I get the whole making it convenient for people, and there's a lot of people that just won't go to the theater or can't go to the theater. And that's fine, but don't miss out on the experience of things like, especially things like Frozen 2. The movies that deserve the experience of being in a theater, don't miss out on those.
Especially if you got young ones, really young ones.
Exactly, because they're the ones that are going to lose out. We had our experiences when theaters were the biggest thing going. And, a lot of kids don't get that experience, and they have a different experience because they're going to see movies that may or may not be the ones that they should be experiencing there. So in reality, they should be listening to our podcast so they know which movies they should be watching.
Would be nice. But I will say this, my friend, 65-inch, 70, 75-inch TVs are awesome. They're great. In fact, if you listen to our last show with the Black Friday episode, you know that Walmart and Target have 65-inch TVs as low as $278, $279. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, it does not, even with the best sound system and the biggest TV, still doesn't entirely replace the theater-going experience. And for a little one, if you have another one, more than one. If you have a whole family, it's best for you to go ahead and check it out and experience it. At least give it a shot for Frozen 2. And even if you make those select times a year where you go ahead and say, you know what, this is an event we need to go check out as a family, I think this one probably is one that you need to go ahead and check out. I mean, there's not too many over the course of this year that there's been that many can't miss or must experience movies in the theater. This is one of those movies, at least for the young ones. If you got a family, I suggest to go see it.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts out there on Frozen 2? Have you seen it? And are you going to take the family to Frozen 2 if you haven't already? Or are you just letting it go altogether? Share us your thoughts, popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. See, another Frozen pun right there for you. And also as well, Pop Culture Cosmos, Humanity Media, and Game Source on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well.
You're listening to the Pop Culture Cosmos. Don't touch that dial. Wait, do people still use dials?
Needing an edge for your fantasy football team? Listen to the guys at Inside Sports Fantasy Football for insight that will help you reach your league championship. That's Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Check it out today on your favorite podcast outlet. Well, speaking of Disney stuff, Disney Plus is still going strong. I'm enjoying it, still combing through the library. But one of the few things I need to make a remark on that I think they're a little bit short on, and they know it, is all new original content. Yes, we can see Jeff Goldblum till we're blue in the face. But the one show that I think a lot of people are keying in on is The Mandalorian. And Star Wars The Mandalorian has actually garnered a lot of viewers, a lot of interest, a lot of people checking it out, and for all the right reasons, because so far my impressions are kind of started off okay, not too great, all right, nothing special, but it's gotten a little bit better episode by episode, in my opinion. I'm not the one here talking today as a guest. I've already said my piece so far going in through episode 1 and 2. Episode 3 I checked out, and like I said before, I think the show is getting better. It went into a better place with, spoilers, Baby Yoda, that whole arc, The Mandalorian. You know a little bit more about The Mandalorian and what's going on there. And then also as well, the Mandalorians as a whole, you get to know a little bit more going forward in the series, which actually is something that a lot of people are interested in. So I ask you, my friend, your thoughts on The Mandalorian, your thoughts on Disney Plus as a whole. I want to hear it. But again, like I said, I think the one thing that this Disney Plus really needs in order to sustain and grow its basic customers is good original content, but more good original content.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more on that one, Joe. As an avid Disney person, love Disney. I'm going through the archives. There's a lot of things I can key in on from key moments of my childhood, the past, in general. But I couldn't agree with you more. Definitely needs that new original content to keep their base of subscribers here down the road. Hopefully a lot of us can keep in the back of our head of the fact that they did say a lot of stuff isn't going to start until next year and even the year following. So we got to keep that in the back of our heads at the same time. But I still think they do need to start trickling out a little more new content. There's only so much of the older content that you want to watch, including can watch, because, you can only stomach so many episodes of The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody before you just want to, duh. But on the Mandalorian front, I agree. First chapter I watched, and when it came out, a little slow, but obviously that's to set you up, which is okay. A lot of key moment things where you see things from the movies that you remember. Oh, look, they're all frozen in carbonite. Obviously a throwback to the Han Solo thing, him busting into that cantina again, back to old things that we know, things that are what we take for lore and everyday norm in Star Wars universe. Did get better with the second chapter. I have not watched the third chapter yet. Shame on me. From what you said, sounds like it's just getting better, which is funny because we both had the same thought process. I was thinking that first chapter, okay, you're a little slow, I'm going to give you a chance. Second one comes around. By the time the second one hit, I even got the wife to sit down and watch it, which she, I can tell you right now, can count Star Wars moments on one finger and can probably not tell you much about it, but actually sat back, got interested in this, and is now waiting to watch chapter 3, which is unusual, but I'll take it. Thank you, Disney Plus.
Well, one thing I want to ask you is one of the reasons why I cited that there were some deficiencies, especially with that first episode, and to a smaller extent, maybe the other 2 episodes as well, is that I feel like they would be more fleshed out if they were an hour. And so what I want to hear is your thoughts. Should they be extended to an hour-long type episodes? I mean, I was prepared on the first episode. I said this before on the air that I think that I was prepared for a 1 hour show, and all I got was 40 minutes. So I don't know if that's because they want to put it on regular TV and wrap commercials around it or what have you. I just was kind of disappointed in the fact that I think it rushed too much, especially in that first episode. Second and third episode seems to be taking care of the pacing a lot better. So it doesn't feel as rushed as the first one did, which tried to tell everything within the span of 40 minutes. But I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think the series would be better off with 1 hour episodes? Because I think a lot of people can tolerate it. I think a lot of people would be more excited about learning more about this part of the Star Wars universe. Do you think the series would be better off being an hour long, or do you like it, for the length that it is?
No, I do see where you're going with that, and I do think it would be better as an hour long, because I honestly went into it expecting the same exact thing. But noticing the timing and the pacing, like you said, honestly, it's something we're probably going to end up seeing on some ABC channel down the road. Maybe, I couldn't say for sure where, but it started to have that pacing of the original season of Agents of the S.H.I.E.L.D. The very early days of that show reminded me a lot of the first episode of Mandalorian. So yeah, I agree. I see what you were saying. That I do think an hour would be fine. I don't think people would really shy away from it if it was longer. I think that would just make it even better.
I think it would too. I think it would allow for a lot more explanation behind what's going on after the demise of the Empire in Return of the Jedi. I think it would also flesh out that world and the aftermath a lot better. Yes, I know they have another season that they're already started working on. Jon Favreau said it this past weekend that they're going to go ahead, said it recently that they're already started work on season 2. So that's great to hear that there's a future for the Mandalorian. But I still think if you had hour episodes, you would be able to go ahead and flesh out that part of the world, the Bounty Hunter Guild, the Mandalorians, the backstory, the things of that nature, even Baby Yoda. Although I know you want to keep that pretty much on a hush-hush right now if you're Disney and Star Wars until you get more and more into the episodes of The Mandalorian. I get that. But still, it would flesh out the series a lot more, I think. And to me, I think it would explain things a lot better for a lot of people who are not as familiar, like your wife. She's not familiar with the Star Wars universe at all. An extra 20 minutes would be, 3 episodes would be an extra hour of explanation of what's going on in that world to help her understand it even better, and others like her.
Right. There should have been a little more backstory to a lot of things instead of the little snippets of force-fed that you got along the way that was supposed to keep you up. And I mean, obviously, you and I, not too hard to keep up. But with the wife, a little hard to keep up. I had to fill in some blanks that, again, if it was an hour long, like you just said, I wouldn't be filling in blanks. I'd be enjoying the blanks being filled in for everybody as a whole.
I agree with you on that. And I just think that it's something that could be a lot better explained for those who are not as familiar, who just got the Disney Plus service, who want to know more about what's going on, because there's so many people out there, despite the fact that it seems at first illogical, there's so many people out there who haven't witnessed or watched a movie in the Star Wars universe before. So getting them to understand what's going on within the Star Wars universe helps a lot. I also said that it would have been great if the first episode had a Star Wars crawl like the Star Wars movies to make it not only more special, more Star Wars-ish, but also as an explainer, again, for those people who are not as familiar with the series. To me, that also would have helped as well. But that's, again, minor compared to an extra 20 minutes each episode for exposition. I think that would have helped out a lot more. But so far, it's getting a little bit better, To me, it's similar to The Watchmen. I've been watching some episodes now. Oh, my gosh, pardon the pun there with the watch. But Watchmen, I have been watching the episodes, pun again, and I think that the episodes are getting a little bit better, understanding what the Watchmen universe is all about and letting it flesh out a little bit more with each and every episode. I know a lot of people were kind of figuring out what the first 2 episodes, what was going on and why is that relating to the Watchmen series or the Watchmen movie per se, especially if you watch the Watchmen movie. It was kind of difficult where they were trying to place everything within all the scheme of things. But you're getting more and more exposition. You're getting more understanding of what's going on and how it's being delved into the Watchmen universe. So I think those episodes are also getting better as well. But for the Mandalorian, I kind of relate to one to the other, because I think with the Mandalorian, I think it's just something that they want to do a slow burn for you, and they really don't want to get you in too deep yet, but they want to go ahead and still have you hooked. I think there's a right amount of action so far. I will give them props for that. They're not just going ahead all heavy on the exposition or all heavy on the action. I like the fact that they have a nice mix. Your thoughts on the action part of it? I mean, what you saw out of the first 2 episodes, do you think there's enough action, or are you needing more when it comes to the Star Wars universe?
I think they're giving us the right amount of action for it being displayed the way it's being, for the story being told the way it's being told. I feel like if they overdo it and over push the action in it to try and keep it up there with the pacing of the films, it will be too cliche and probably die out fast. And that's probably not where they want to go with it, which I could see it. I think there's maybe enough. Maybe there's times it could be a little more, because it seems like sometimes right when you start getting that adrenaline rush, it's over. And then it goes right back into a pacing of like, oh, well, that was okay. You just went from adrenaline to straight snail crawl. So, yeah, I could understand where there should be maybe a little lengthier sequences with certain action sequences, but I don't think they should over push it with the fact, because it doesn't need to be up there with the pacing of the films, because that will just, I think, destroy what they're trying to create.
I understand that completely, and to a sense, I agree with you as well, because the fact that you got to go ahead and try and tell a good story over the course of, I think it's 8 episodes, I think the series is. So it's not exactly the longest series in the world, but I still think they're going to have, by the time that this first season has ended, they're still going to leave me wanting more, but not necessarily in a great way, because the fact it won't be leaving me wanting more because, oh, it's such a great series and I want to see more and I want to see more. This is like, I think they left some things out, and I wanted to see more about that. I was curious to find out more about this. I was curious to find more about that. I'm hoping I don't have that feeling, but I think by the end of season 1, I will. Now, maybe that's what season 2 will be all about. I'm not quite sure. But with The Mandalorian, I think there's some good things that are going on. A lot of people are just crazy over Baby Yoda. Was Baby Yoda, and spoilers to everybody out there, sorry, if you haven't seen The Mandalorian by now, Baby Yoda is a thing. And I'm sure you probably see on the internet anyways, because he's, been on 1,000 GIFs and a million memes and all that. Was introducing Baby Yoda, was that the right move by Disney and Star Wars to create another Yoda in the universe?
You went there.
I have to go there. I mean, you can't avoid not saying anything about Baby Yoda. You just can't avoid it.
Right now, these days, unless you're, I don't even want to say if you're living under a rock, because if you're under a rock, there's still got to be something written in the dirt about Baby Yoda. It's everywhere. Just like you said, you really can't avoid it. Do I think it was a great idea? That's a two-sided coin that is not the same at all. The fan in me, the little child inside me is like, oh my god, it's so cute, yay, look at it. The Star Wars fan in me, the adult in me, the realistic thinker in me is going, okay, they're trying to, I see where it fits on the timeline, I see where they're going with it, with the aging of the species and everything else and what have you. But they gave us nothing story-wise on Baby Yoda. And as far as I know, as it sits with me still, there's still no knowledge of, we just have this baby that looks like Yoda that everyone is calling Baby Yoda because we don't know what else. I mean, it's too long to say, oh, it's the little baby child. It resembles the same species as Yoda, and no, that's too long. So, for lack of a better term, like you said, Baby Yoda is where everyone's going with it.
Now, Disney is trying to do everything they can to not have the existence of Baby Yoda out there on the internet, but they're trying to actually copyright block so many of the Baby Yoda GIFs are out there. Good luck with that one.
Right.
Yeah, the internet's just going to stay one step ahead of you, Disney. I mean, you got a lot of money, you got a lot of power, but sorry, you're not faster than all the internet, the people out there, those keyboard warriors out there on the internet making those GIFs and those memes. So good luck with that one. But yeah, they're even trying to go ahead and try and crack down on people trying to spoil it out there just by having Baby Yoda out there. But yeah, they're going to great lengths. But that just tells me that Baby Yoda has become a big thing, whether we like it or not.
It has. It definitely has. But I just hope by the end of it, we're not left with just an open cliffhanger and still not knowing much knowledge on who and what this baby has to do with anything.
I'm trying to go ahead and make you float right now. Just trying to make, because the force is with me.
It wasn't with Baby Yoda from what I read online.
Blah, 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 blah. Oh, sorry. Disney just tried to copyright block me as well.
Oh, see how they are? I thought I saw some Mickey ears pop up behind you.
There you go. There you go. What are your thoughts out there on The Mandalorian so far? Are you enjoying the show and all 3 episodes that have been released? Or are you a Baby Yoda and you're trying to force yourself away from the series itself?
Ooh.
Force, get it? Force, get it.
Force, I get it.
Share us your thoughts, popculturecosmos at yahoo.com. Also as well, Pop Culture Cosmos, Humanica Media, and Game Source on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Well, coming up next, Rob McCallum and his wife, Tanya Marie, they're going to come up right after the break with their off-the-cuff segment. And then afterwards, Jamie and I are going to close out the show talking about WWE and also what are some of the deals in gaming that I need to go ahead and remind you of, because some of them are on sale right now. We're going to tell you what they are coming up later on in the program as well. This is the Pop Culture Cosmos.
Get ready for Box Art, a gaming docuseries from Pyre Productions and Rob McCallum Films. If you love video games, chances are there's a box cover or cover image that you love and has stuck with you for decades. In our series, Box Art, we travel across North America to visit with the unknown illustrators and artists responsible for creating the most iconic gaming images of all time. What was once scheduled to be a 90-minute documentary is now a 6-episode season packed with unbelievable tales that paint a picture of the gaming industry you've never imagined. Just one of the many pop culture projects from Rob McCallum and Pyre Productions.
Check out what's been going on with the Pop Culture Cosmos Show and the PCC Multiverse.
The better that these Marvel films do, the higher the standards are going to be for not just other films in general, but other Marvel films also.
I think it's really hard to end a show with this many fans in a satisfying way.
That's the Pop Culture Cosmos Show.
And the PCC Multiverse.
Playing worldwide on radio 7 days a week and wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Off the Cuff with No Guff. I'm your host, Rob McCallum, and joining me this week is my lovely wife, partner, and now I can say frequent collaborator.
It is frequent. It's more.
There is a frequency to this.
What's happening?
Do you know what Quibi is?
No.
So Quibi is Jeffrey Katzenberg. Do you know what Katzenberg is? So Katzenberg was head of DreamWorks with David Geffen and Steven Spielberg, and before that he worked at Disney, and he was part of that big revival with Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and Lion King. Remember we watched the documentary?
Yes,
Remember the name of the documentary? Waking Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, it's so sweet.
Which is on Disney Plus, and people can check that out if they want to see that.
Did you buy it?
What?
At the
Waking
time?
Sleeping Beauty?
I think you bought it off iTunes.
It was only $8.
It was a great buy, though. Oh my God, all those songs.
It's a little self-indulgent because it really promotes how good Disney is on a documentary about Disney.
Disney pat on the back.
It's really cool to see a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff of those 4 big films for Disney to turn around their animation unit. Again, it's Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and Lion King.
The music, though.
Yeah,
like,
but
itself.
You see more of the behind-the-scenes footage on the individual titles. But yeah, so Katzenberg, he got out of DreamWorks.
Yes.
And then he was just with DreamWorks Animation, and then he got out of that, and now he's doing Quibi. Now, Quibi is bite-sized content.
Okay.
Basically 7 minutes or less. and he kind of wants to create content and series and drama that is basically geared to people like waiting for a bus, people on the run, short attention spans, but strong.
Which is everybody now.
But strong storytelling too.
Yeah.
So I'm asked here, is Quibi appealing to me as a filmmaker? Let me ask you: Is Quibi appealing to you as a potential viewer? Would you want to watch something in 7-minute chapters or
Honestly,
episodes?
Like, yeah, honestly, it would probably. I'm not gonna lie. My self-indulgent show is like every week on Thursdays when Scarlett takes a nap, and if I'm folding laundry, I watch Riverdale, and that is like a really hard hour for me to get in. And yes, it's self-indulgent, and it's a show that's pretty young, but it's cute and it's light and it's fluffy, and I watch it and there's singing and whatever. But like, as for me, like mom, I'm like super busy, and if I want to get something in that's really rich and
but I'm going to challenge this because you're going to say, you're going to have 7 minutes to watch this show, and I'm going to say you're going to need the 5 minutes before to make sure you can get ready to watch that show, that everything's kind of put on pause, and then you're still going to need 5 minutes after, so you're still at the 20-minute mark.
There's nowhere I'm going to go for like 7 minutes. Like, I don't take a bus because I drive, and I'm not going to like sit there and watch it in my car.
I'm not saying everything's 7 minutes, but I think that's the kind of goal of Quibi.
Like I say, like if there were 7 minutes, but now like you put up a good argument, like.
I'm not trying to make you change your mind.
No.
I'm just thinking.
You're making me think.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. I need to exercise my brain more often. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to sleep on that one.
Okay, so here's the real kicker. Okay, so
give it to
Google
me.
Stadia.
Yes.
Quibi. We're being asked, do we think that both of these services are trying to appeal to millennials? Are they going to force millennials specifically to connect?
Oh, I don't think they're gonna have to force millennials. I just think they'll go like a bunch of lambs to the slaughter.
So you think that Google Stadia is something that they're going to embrace?
Oh yeah, of course. Instant everything, instant gratification. Let's go.
Yeah, but,
boom, 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 boom.
Okay, but sure, like there's still so many other services. Do they need one more thing?
Do they care? That
Yeah,
it
they
is
do.
a generation of excess.
No, but it's a generation. There's only so much time too.
True. Time is infinite, Rob.
Okay, just because there's a different generation with different habits, whether it's baby boomers or millennials or Gen Xers or whatever.
Whoever you are.
There's only so much time in a day, and there's only so much money as well.
Well, true. Well, I guess they're going to gravitate to which one they want to.
And remember, Quibi is a service too,
yes,
right? So we've got Netflix and Amazon and Hulu in the States.
Now
and
we have Disney Plus.
And we'll talk about Disney Plus soon. It's all on the list. We've got questions about Disney Plus. Yeah.
Excellent. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. So you think that both of these are going to be a hit or no?
I don't think they're going to be a hit.
Who are they for?
I don't know. I guess we're going to have to see like demographics when they come out.
Who do you think that Quibi is for?
Like literally on the go, like all the time. Like you say, someone waiting for a bus, waiting for a train, waiting behind someone in line, someone who needs to be occupied like all the time. Like there are those people that are like constantly looking at their phones. Like they're just not living their life. I see them all over the place. Just completely distracted.
I'm going to go the opposite route.
Ooh,
I'm going to counter programming here. I think that Quibi is for community entertainment. That sounds way more official and technical than it needs to be.
It does. It sounds really serious.
I want to say it's almost like appointment viewing, water cooler type stuff, like the Super Bowl. When you have a bunch of people over and you sit and watch stuff together. I would say, when a new trailer comes out and you're watching it and you're watching other trailers with people and you're kind of making a night of it, or you're watching music videos together.
Totally.
I think this is where Quibi is really going to find a lot of success with the stuff that they're funding, and they've got a ton of money. And I was saying before we had to take before we take a little break, I went to Real Screen in June, and everybody was talking about how much money Quibi had and how to land a Quibi deal. How do you land a Quibi deal? And the problem they were trying to figure out is, how do you create a format like a game show that can be done in millions of different languages in different regions, but have a 7-minute kind of time limit on it, or a docuseries that can be told in 7-minute chapters.
How can you make it so like hard hitting that it's got to be
Yeah.
You just got to hold your attention and grab it.
And this is why I don't think it's for people on the go. I think it's for people that want to constantly consume, and that it's buzzworthy, really strong content.
Okay.
Because if you're with a group of people and you're like, oh, we got to watch one more. Oh, put another one on. It's like watching Jackass, right?
You're like addictive because you're like
those Jackass sketches were like 5 minutes each. Like that's perfect Quibi kind of stuff.
Guilty. I watched the crap out of those
and
at
over,
that time.
And over
again.
And over
it's
again.
Like sometimes when I'm having a shitty day and the kids are sleeping, because God no, they're not watching Jackass, I will like YouTube like Johnny Knoxville doing,
So stand-up comedians, I think, will fit to that because it's comedy, right?
I never thought.
And can we get like narratives like books, done in 7-minute chapter chunks and series? So
yeah, and if you have an interesting voice.
So of the two, Quibi is where I'm leaning. In case you couldn't tell,
not at all.
I think Quibi, the thing that they're gonna face, and there's a free version and a paid version. I think. It's just, can they compete with the amount of other stuff that people are already trying to get caught up on?
Yeah, they're like, oh, that's what all you hear from people. Like, have you caught up on this on Netflix?
They need like 3 great shows in order to really kind of stand out.
You gotta like knock them out too,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, that's interesting to hear that those are the elements you like. What do you give me that for?
I can say, I have spoken.
I have spoken, yes. From the Mandalorian.
So good.
The Ugnaught.
And the people calling Baby whatever Yoda species is. I'm like, oh my God, it's not Yoda. Like,
yeah, but what are we gonna call it?
Baby tiny whatever it is.
Some sites say that Yoda's species hasn't been revealed. Others kind of say it has. I don't know.
Is there a name for it?
I don't
ask Jay Bartlett.
Yeah,
he holds the knowledge. Text him right now.
No, I don't care enough.
Wake him up.
I don't care enough to look at it. I want the series to present whatever it wants to present.
Okay, bring it on. Species of Yoda.
This will do it for another episode of Off the Cuff, the episode where we tried not to wake our daughter, but she woke twice as we're in the basement recording and she's upstairs in the master bedroom.
We're loud people.
Crashed out. We have volume. What did we say that this episode was called? I know it was AKA I'm Sorry I Love You.
I'm Sorry I Love You.
But what was the other version?
It was like the Don't Wake the Kids.
Don't Wake the Kids podcast. Okay.
Maybe
every week I'll have a different title for this. We had the breakfast edition last time with J Rock, Justin Sean Rock. Now this is the Don't Wake the Kids version. So yeah. All right. Well, send us your questions for the next episode whenever that kind of ish happens. Probably not weekly, more like monthly ish, maybe occasionally. At Rob McZob, both on Instagram and on Twitter, or at Pop Culture Cosmo on Twitter, or Pop Culture Cosmos on Facebook. Okay, cheers.
If you need your video game fix, be sure to check out Retro City Games. Located in Town Square on Las Vegas Boulevard or in Henderson, Nevada, Retro City Games has the cure for all your video game vices. Retro games and games for current consoles, Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, Xbox, and more. Retro City Games has all the staples from any library and some highly collectible offerings too. So pick up a few games today at Retro City Games in Town Square on Las Vegas Boulevard or in Henderson, Nevada. Retro City Games is your video game metropolis.
And we're back to close out the show. This is the Pop Culture Cosmos. I don't know, man. They just concluded the Survivor Series this weekend, and the matches, they seem to be going the way of NXT. NXT, they're trying to go ahead and with their Wednesday show, obviously try and get that going at a level above what AEW, All Elite Wrestling, is trying to do on Wednesdays itself. They actually, for the first time, did beat AEW on total viewers, still not beating them in the key 18 to 49 demo, which a lot of these advertisers go for. SmackDown, obviously one of the big cornerstones for Fox on Friday nights, not getting quite the numbers that they once did when they first started off, to begin the season. And Raw still doing okay at best, kind of middling numbers. They're not able to go ahead and sell those house shows like they once did. In fact, they're trying to still get a lot of people to go ahead and attend the show the night that this airs, which is Raw, Monday Night Raw. So trying to go ahead and get those people coming in is kind of hard to do as well. After you got a chance to go ahead and check out Survivor Series, where Brock Lesnar destroyed Rey Mysterio, Bray Wyatt handled Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole still keeps the hold of the NXT title. And in the matches that had the various groups, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, for the most part, NXT got the big wins, obviously trying to boost that brand. But I just don't have that vibe. I just don't have that great feeling about the WWE when I watch their product. As a whole, I think the WWE product is not in a great state. I still think they're 1, 2, or 3 stars away. I mean, they don't have a Rock coming around the corner, unless it's Rock for a guest appearance. And, that only happens once every year or so. They don't have a Steve Austin coming around the corner because Steve Austin just goes ahead and does podcasts and talk shows now because he's retired, essentially, for all intents and purposes. They don't have those marquee stars that they've made into superstars. So I think the product as a whole is suffering. And it's not because of All Elite Wrestling per se, because All Elite Wrestling is the cool in-crowd thing. Yes, you went to Hot Topic and you bought all the shirts, and now you get to go ahead and watch the show on every Wednesday night on TNT. That's great and all, but All Elite Wrestling is not the reason why WWE is at its point where it is. I think it's WWE in and of itself. So I want to hear your thoughts, my friend. Where are we at coming out of Survivor Series? Do you feel more confident about the product, or is it something you're just saying to yourself, this is not where I would like my WWE to be?
Obviously, as a longtime wrestling fan, this is not where I want my WWE to be. I could say it right out the gate. It's totally not where I want the WWE to be. They are grasping at straws. We were chit-chatting earlier, and I said it before that they want this lightning to strike twice. They want this, rehash, if you will, of the Attitude Era, but without the attitude. And it's very poorly executed and written.
Well, that's true. And backstage, I don't think helps the program as much as it hurts it.
It's probably doing better than most of their Monday night show, Wednesday night shows.
Well, that's true. But then again, nobody's even watching the show anyways because they barely get 100,000, 150,000 viewers nationwide for it because it's so obscure on FS1 right now. But that's another issue altogether, even with CM Punk and all that. But I just think the writing is going to come and go because the writing is just really bad at this point in a lot of areas. But then again, even during the Attitude Era, when it was just such a great time to be a wrestling fan, and all of us, older individuals are so nostalgic. And yes, we're get off my lawn because the Attitude Era was so much better than it is now. La 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 la. I hear that all the time. But the fact is, so much of it was good, but also so much of it was bad as well. I mean, you had points where there was a lot of storylines where there was just really just going to places really didn't need to go. It just doesn't seem like the superstars of today are giving their own input on their characters. It just sounds like a lot of reading lines because you don't have two individuals where they're just, you got to watch them each and every week, like Stone Cold versus McMahon. And then on top of that, you have The Rock, you have Mankind, you have Triple H, you have Degeneration X, you have all those other components that were so cool to watch. No matter how bad some of those sub-stories were, you just wanted to go ahead and see some of that really marquee stuff that they had for you. I don't feel that today, and I'm not sure if I'm going to feel that tomorrow.
I'm right there with you. I don't feel that today. I haven't felt that in a lot of years. You were right. I'm not going to sit here and say the Attitude Era is everything and that's what made wrestling and that's, what it should all be based off of. Of course not.
It had its highs and lows.
Just like everything else.
Yeah, just like everything else. You had the NWO. Sure, you had some other great stuff that was going on, ECW and all that. But the fact that there was enough good components of wrestling all around that made that whole era, and not just the WWE, so special. No matter how bad one part of it was, there was so much good to look beyond it. And
that was the difference. The story writing, the creative, it was all the same even then. It, like you said, it had its moments of where we were handed hot garbage, but because the action of the wrestling itself was so great, we didn't care what they were saying or what they were doing. It was about the beef that ensued from what they were doing and what they were saying that kept everybody's attention. And you don't get that now. You don't get that satisfaction of, man, these guys have been talking crap to each other for week in, week out, and now it finally gets down to it, and that adrenaline rush you used to get before isn't there anymore because you're just sitting there going, well, I already know how this is going to go. So-and-so is going to win because that's just how it always goes.
Right now,
thing.
it's just way too 50-50 where, okay, so one person took the loss. Oh, they got to win now. So that's going to go back and forth.
Right.
And
so how long are they going to hash it out for?
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned before that they're trying to go ahead with the NXT and with SmackDown and with Raw. They're trying to recreate the Attitude Era to an extent on a PG level. It's just not coming across well, I should say. Then again, All Elite Wrestling, All Elite Wrestling is just starting out. So anything that they're doing is a bonus, I think, at this point in time. No, do they have the roster and the depth of that you can go ahead and compete on a regular basis with anything the WWE puts out? No, they don't. They don't have that deep roster of interesting characters or interesting individuals. I think right now, what they're trying to go ahead and put out there the best that they have, but it is limited. They are bringing in some individuals, or they have brought in some individuals like MJF and Hangman Page that have a future that's very bright, and they're looking forward to them mixing in with the established stars that are there. But then again, like I said, once you get past the few that there are, it's very hard to go ahead and watch the product and feel like you're watching something really big and really special. So that's going to take time for AEW to flesh out the mid card and even the lower card to have a stable of individuals, both male and female, that can go ahead and compete on par with what the WWE can offer at this point in time. So All Elite Wrestling right now, whatever they're getting as far as ratings, money, crowds, anything there should be considered a bonus at this point in time. And it's a long process, and I think AEW is going to go ahead and be patient with that. With everything else in say, when you got ROH, MLW, and New Japan, I mean, those are all components as well that want to go ahead and buy into the pro wrestling market here. I just think the pro wrestling market here, a lot of people have left, and it's really going to be hard to get those people back that are not watching the professional wrestling product as a whole, because they've just so tired on what the WWE has had to offer.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I watch AEW, and I mean, like you said, it's just starting out. They're not as established. They definitely can and will be. They have their own little drama and niche right now too, where they need to change a little things up. Like for instance with WWE, like you were saying, there's so many talents they don't utilize. Aleister Black, Ricochet, they came in hot, just on a roll. And then what happened? They separated the two of them, which, okay, that's fine. But Aleister Black doing nothing but cutting promos out of the back, wondering where his competition's at. Well, maybe if you got to put your ringer on and actually wrestled, you'd have competition instead of sitting in the back asking for it. It was an okay promo the first time, but after they kept doing it, now it's just cute.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friend, I'm hoping for better things for professional wrestling, aka sports entertainment, aka whatever you want to call it at this point in time. I'm hoping that there will be an involvement of professional wrestling, and somebody will light that match and light a fire underneath the professional wrestling scene once again, like we saw at various points of time, even to the point of a John Cena. I mean, you can love him or you can hate him. At least he was able to go ahead and bring in audiences in a way that we're not even seeing today. So hopefully we will go ahead and see that type of mercurial individual or individuals that will go ahead and reshape the sports entertainment, aka professional wrestling world, for years to come. What are your thoughts on the WWE right now coming off the Survivor Series? Please share us your thoughts, popculturecosmos@yahoo.com.
We need the ruthless aggression.
Yeah, something like that. We need something to be ruthless at this point in time. But before we head on out, my friend, I do want to ask you, Black Friday is almost upon us. We had a great episode of the PCC Multiverse on Friday that people still should be able to check out, that talks about some of the great deals that are out there, not only with video games, movies, TVs, electronics, and so much more. But I want to ask you, my friend, I know as a fellow gamer, and you're a hardcore gamer, I want to ask you, my friend, what video game deals are you looking forward to this Black Friday?
To be totally honest, you know what just caught my eye? Did you remember last year when Microsoft did the Xbox All Access?
Yes.
Lightning has struck twice this year, and you can actually get an Xbox One X, no money out of pocket, walk out with it, pay your, I believe it comes to around maybe $39 a month, give or take, and walk out with your Xbox One X. Merry Christmas, what have you. But the kicker with the deal this time around, in 12 months, you are eligible to upgrade to Project Scarlet. Get yourself an Xbox One X. Year later, get yourself in the latest and greatest.
That's a very interesting program. I kind of like that myself. That's very interesting. I have to look more into that. Also, as well, for people who just want the Xbox One S, those deals are live right now with the Xbox One S at many retail locations. So check out online, whether it's Walmart, Target, what have you. You need to go ahead and check it out online because many of those great video game deals are already on sale. The bundle with PlayStation for $199, the PlayStation 4 with 3 great games, The Last of Us, Horizon Zero Dawn, and God of War. You want to check that out. That's right now. Well, it's on sale for each for $10, but you want to go ahead. It's a great deal. 3 games, PlayStation 4, $199. Those are on sale now at many retailers. That's the Black Friday bundle for them. The Black Friday bundle at $199, you'll see it at various outlets, is Jedi Fallen Order with an Xbox One S. So check that out for $199 as well. Don't even worry about the $149 digital only, unless that's all you want. It's just something to download. It's worth to buy the Xbox One S just for the 4K Blu-ray alone, to spend that extra $50, much less getting a Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order with it. So many of those deals are on now. The price cuts on PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live, they're also available right now at various retailers, so you want to check that out. So many great deals. I will say this, my friend, some of the games that I'm interested in that have popped up at various retailers, GameStop, I'm going to tell you, they rarely do something I'm interested in, but they are this time. All the PlayStation hits, I believe. In fact, I think this is also other retailers as well. The PlayStation hits, which is The Last of Us, Horizon Zero Dawn, Little Big Planet 3, Uncharted Lost Legacy, God of War, the Uncharted Collection, Persona 5, Bloodborne, Gran Turismo, I think even Uncharted 4. Those hits are going to $9.99, half off. Not sure about Uncharted 4. I have to check on that one. But all the rest of them, all those are going $9.99, half off. Those are great deals for some great games right there, especially if you haven't picked up God of War or Horizon Zero Dawn. Also got to tell you about one of the big losers of the year, Anthem, at GameStop, going $5. I know we've made so much fun of Anthem, but if you ever wanted to get into it, I think now's the time to get an Anthem because it's only going to be $5 at GameStop come Black Friday. So I want to hear your thoughts, man, on some other great deals on games that are of interest to you this week that could be already on sale already, or at least coming on sale this Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
And yes, you were right. Uncharted 4. That's part of your good call on that.
Sweet.
Also, there's been some sales going on as far as PlayStation Plus goes right now. I mean, obviously everybody, par for the course, Best Buy, Walmart, GameStop, they've all been doing daily deals, daily Black Friday deals, what have you, things like that. So a lot of great things already have come down the pike and are coming down the pike.
Kingdom Hearts 3, $20.
Right. If you don't do it for $20, there's something wrong with you. I mean, $20 that's a great game. Great choice for $20.
I got to tell you, though, Skyrim actually went up $5 this year. It's $20. Last year it was $15, so that's kind of funny.
See how they are. That's amazing. But again, the PlayStation Plus sale also going on right now. There's a free trial for Rainbow Six Siege. Also dropped the price 70% off. So you're looking at Gold Edition for $11.99. Ultimate, which was like $100 and some odd dollars or $100, is now like $43. So some good deals there. Haven't seen everything that I want to see. Obviously, I'm looking for a deal on Death Stranding. Everybody that's listening out there for my Christmas list.
That and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, but I know those two came out this month, so you don't really see the price drops on it yet. If you're interested in Modern Warfare Call of Duty, it is going to a $38 price point, so you want to check it out on that if you're really into the Call of Duty series and you haven't got it yet. I know other games that have recently gone out, like Need for Speed, that's also going on sale. All the 2K games like 2K20, WWE, NBA 2K20, They're all going around the $27, $28 mark. In the WWE's case, it's probably needed because of all the issues and problems there.
Are you sure that one's not $5 this year? Because
No, not yet. Not yet. From what the reviews are. But there are a lot of great games out there. And again, if you check out our listings at Pop Culture Cosmos, we've gone ahead and reported once again all the major retailers and their Black Friday sales and the links to them. So check it out today on Pop Culture Cosmos. And also look forward to go ahead and sharing more great stuff to you in the coming days just before Black Friday hits. Hopefully we'll be able to go ahead and put out our thoughts on some of the best deals coming out once again. Just check out our social media at Pop Culture Cosmos on Facebook, Twitter, and even Instagram as well. Well, my friend, it's been a great episode. Cannot thank you enough for taking the time for being a part of it once again. Any last thoughts on the way out?
I'm ready for the food coma.
I think I'm ready for the food coma too, my friend. Gobble, gobble to you, my friend. Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble back.
There you go. And again, everybody, have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. So for Jamie Monroy, this is Gerald Glassford. It's another beautiful day in paradise right here in the Pop Culture Cosmos. We thank you for listening. And here's hoping you have yourself a great day.
Hello, America. You like listening to knowledgeable people who are passionate about what they do? Wilbur does, don't you, Wilbur? But what about Daisy? She likes to listen to shows about pop culture, movies, television, and comic books. Good thing Wilbur and Daisy found the Nerd Bliss Podcast. You, too, can find the Nerd Bliss Podcast at nerdblisspodcast.com and on the ESO Network. Just remember, Nerd Bliss is one word.
You're listening to a Weeby Geeks Network podcast.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Tangent Bound Network. Let your voice be heard. TangentBoundNetwork.com.
Thanks so much for downloading the Pop Culture Cosmos, and stay tuned as more great podcasts are on the way. Thanks again for listening to us here at the Pop Culture Cosmos.